y'all, this is Anna Alexander. Welcome back to the basement for the season 2 premiere of the series Outlander, streaming now on Netflix and Starz. And we have come off a hell of a season 1 finale, which was terrible. It was terrible, yet it wasn't. And it always feels weird when you talk about shows that has such intense, violent, horrible, rapey things about saying how it was great. And this is how it is to live in my brain. When you are a storyteller, you see things through a different lens. So that last episode, as a human being with a strong moral compass, you look at it and go, that was terrible. That was horrendous. How devastating, how tragic. And then you put on the storyteller lens and you go, that was brilliant. That was amazing. That was great. And it feels weird, but that's how you look at it. Because I was expecting, having seen Randall with the lashing of Jamie, and then even the previous episode where he smashes the hand and the nail and everything, I was expecting then more of that same physical violence, slapping, hitting, cutting, pulling fingernails, screaming. That was what I was expecting. And oh no, we didn't get that. We got a wee bit. But we got mostly the psychological mindfuck. And that was terrifying. It was terrifying in its quietness, and it was terrifying in its just twistedness, because we can see it as, ugh, but then you see how Jamie would experience it. And yeah, it was horrible. But the fact that that's what we were presented, it was unexpected, was great storytelling. And hopefully, and not hopefully, so this should affect him for the rest of the series. And I've heard some of you say that, yes, sometimes it does, and sometimes as if it doesn't happen. And that's terrible. Again, you want that continuity. You want that continuation. You don't want it to be convenient. And when it's dropped into a story conveniently and taken out when it's inconvenient, you don't want that. You want to be that consistent, especially when it was something that was so upper level, horrendous. It's got to be more present. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how they carry forth. Now we also have, so Jamie and Claire, they're on their way to France for how long? I don't know. You know, I don't know. They also have some tasks. Claire is giving Jamie a task of, let's try to subvert, overt, turn the tide of Scottish fortune against the English. Sure, that's no small feat. Okay, that should occupy him. But they're also having a baby, which, surprise, not surprise. Huh. So I'm excited to see what has happened. And I'm glad that you are here with me on this. It turned out to have rain today. So what do you know? And so before we get started, okay, I very rarely talk about like my own books specifically. However, I do have something new out. It's been too long. 2020 creatively just knocked me on my rear. I wasn't alone in that. I have writer friends, the same thing, but it was hard to feel creative and like writing something that would mean something to me. But I finally got my crap together and I have new things coming out June 30th. It is a new fantasy serial called The Seasons of August. I do hope that you check it out. It's available on all e-retailers. Print version will also be coming shortly, but it is about elemental mages, a knight that has to save the realm, a kingdom in jeopardy, all sorts of good stuff. And again, it is a serial, which means they're short cliffhangers each time. Don't expect there to be an ending after each one, but I do hope that you check it out. I'll have links down below in the description. And yeah, there we go. So thanks again for being with me. Let's grab the cozy warm blanket, got my beverage of choice, and let's get to it.
I wished I were dead.
This
But I made a promise and had to keep it.
This does not look
Even if
France.
It meant living a life I no longer wanted.
Yeah, it really doesn't look like France.
The world I'd left only moments ago was now dust.
Oh, that's a rather paved road. She's back in the future.
What year is this?
1948.
Who won?
Oh, oh.
Who won the Battle of Culloden? Tell me who won the Battle of Culloden! Tell me now!
The British! Cumberland and the British!
Could not be subverted. Oh, which means Jamie may be dead. Oh no.
Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky.
Where are my bagpipes? Not that a violin fiddle isn't lovely, but where are the bagpipes? Oh. I hear French. So they must have made it to France. My French sucks so bad, so I couldn't even translate if I wanted to. But if the lyrics were written out, I might muddle through.
Excuse me. Excuse me. No.
Is this Frank?
Ms. Randall. Frank Randall.
One moment, please, Mr. Randall.
We did kind of lose Frank there after like episode 3, didn't we? Ooh, how weird is it to see Frank's face? Okay, I have so many questions. So many questions. I'll just...
Hello. I'm back.
And I am so grateful.
Are you? Is he? Is he?
Are you?
Of course. With all my heart.
Oh! Ooh! Oh! Photographer! No!
Mrs. Randall.
No! No!
What?
I've spoken with Reverend Wakefield, and he's prepared some rooms for us while you convalesce.
Do you know if Mrs. Graham is still in his employ?
I would assume so.
I missed how long had passed between her before time and this time. Not 1700 time, but when she disappeared in 1940, whatever. Because that would have been weird if she jumped before she left. Oh, I'd be doing the same thing.
Examine the clothing you sent. Appears to be a marvelous example of authentic 18th century Scottish woman's wardrobe. Incredibly valuable. Where did you find?
Even the curator of Old Leonard Cottage himself has been known to borrow books from our collection.
Oh.
There might be a war with Russia soon. Stalin's trying to block access to West
There's
Berlin.
always another fucking war.
Yeah, pumpkin. Yeah.
No, he didn't even know what that word meant.
Oh, she told Mrs. Graham.
Whenever you talk about him, you nearly always mention his fine sense of humor.
Claire, pregnant right now?
Aye. And his smile.
Who wouldn't?
And his hair.
It really is the most...
Couldn't she go to Lollybrock and see if it was still there?
Don't spend the rest of your days chasing a ghost. Not when there's a man, a real, flesh and blood, living man who loves you still with all his heart.
I don't know. I don't know if I could forget Jamie after a week. With a man who looks like his rapist. Jeez. This story.
Whatever happened, wherever you've been, I think what truly matters to me is that you're back. I don't really care about anything else.
Except.
Let me tell it at my own pace. Remember, I went back to Craignadoon that day.
And the sun has come up. And how has that been?
I know how it must sound.
It's quite the leap of faith. It is one that I am prepared to make as well.
Don't patronize me, Frank.
Because we know Jamie was like, I get it. It makes sense. We shall go on. Mm-hmm.
I was with another man for 2 years, and I loved him deeply as his wife.
2 years.
Point you have made several times. I do understand, Claire.
This is all terrible, but the dialogue is amazing.
That you did feel that way. That you had this experience with this man, and that leaving him broke your heart. I can accept it.
What about the baby?
I meant it then, and I mean it now. I love you, Claire, unconditionally, no matter what. And
I'm pregnant.
pregnant? What? God, that's wonderful.
Oh, wait, what? Excuse me?
How is that? How's that?
Ah.
No.
You need to think about that and what that means for all of us.
Well, there's Randall. Those aren't your things to break. I understand why, but those aren't his things to break. That was a great and terrible sequence. Oh.
This other man, he's certain he's dead.
That is a question now, isn't it?
Listen to me now. Other men have faced this situation.
I doubt that.
Mary told Joseph that she was with child. And he couldn't be the father. He too was confronted.
Wow,
with
Reverend,
crisis.
I am not Joseph. She is not Mary. I am fairly certain that the father is not God Almighty. He was a man who fucked my wife.
Yes, Roger.
Excuse me, I can't say to play.
Who is this kid? Who is this child?
Just pick up where we left off. You sure about this, Frank?
We start over. I've been offered a post at Harvard. As long as you're here, the British press will flog it to death.
Please, Frank, don't ever use the word flog in my presence again. Is that understood?
I also have conditions.
I don't like how he phrased that.
We will raise this child as our own, ours, yours and mine.
Raised in a lie.
No, with a father, a living, breathing man, not the echo of a memory that they can never catch.
Whoa. Grinding my teeth again.
You have other conditions.
Only one. I cannot share you with another man. No more research.
No.
No more combing through the libraries of the world hoping to find some reference to him.
No.
You must let him go.
No. She just left him.
So I will.
Oh, I couldn't. I would need to at least have some closure about where he ended up. Just that. Just that alone. You can't give her that? I say. They're giving me the frowny face and we just started. You better not make her take her ring off.
When you're ready.
No! I'm so angry right now. I'm so angry right now. You didn't hear the dentist notice I've been grinding my teeth more, and I've realized it's when I'm watching these shows. What happened? What happened? What is happening? This is not right. This is wrong. This is so wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. What is happening?
To new beginnings.
Well, obviously not. Just leave him more talk to carry everything.
Talking about stopping the Jacobite rebellion.
Well, that is what we agreed to, isn't it?
I thought we agreed to think about it. What do you know?
Just the general outlines of history. I don't know where the armies were, why they won, or how they lost. It's that eventually both sides end up on Culloden Moor, and the Jacobites are wiped out. That is a sum total of my knowledge of the war.
That's not a lot to go on, Cecily.
Yeah, no. She wasn't listening when Frank was talking in Culloden.
We can infiltrate the Jacobite movement, get close to the key players.
You certainly have a high opinion of what a crippled Highlander and a pregnant Englishwoman can accomplish.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking he needs a nap.
Thinking it's not a very honourable path you're laying out for us. I'm just lying to my cousin.
All of Scotland.
What the hell are we going to tell Murtagh?
The true reason behind your certainty remains carefully hid.
We are keeping it hidden. But believe me, if we could...
One day, I'll tell you the reason. I'll tell you everything that has happened at the proper time.
That'll do.
And when will be the proper time?
I'm gonna guess when he has to send her back through the rocks.
Enemies that would delight in watching us dance a jig on the gallows back in England. So, while the cause has many friends, only a few are called brother, and they are the ones with the fire of righteousness burning in their hearts. Tell me now, what is the fire that burns within you?
Oh, we're doing this old song and dance again.
I've been delaying a trip to the West Indies until I could find someone competent and trustworthy enough to run the wine business in my absence. And in return, I will give you the run of my house in Paris. And while I'm gone, a share of the profits, say 25%.
That's
30.
very nice little offer there. He looks off. He looks great. But I don't know, is it the cut of his hair this season? It seems a darker red. I know he's a little bit more clean shaven, but he doesn't look like Jamie of last season. Oh no, is the plague coming? Is the plague coming to France?
The captain tried to stop me from seeing the sick crewman because he knew the truth.
Why is she touching him?
All right, if it is what I think it is, I can't get it.
Right. Small box.
This will be trouble.
Oh, hello. Who's this? Bonjour.
C'est le variole.
Oh, there was more than one. People, out. They're like freaking, you know.
Jamie, I can't...
Claire, trust me.
Claire.
La loi est claire. Il me faut ordonner la destruction du vaisseau et de sa cargaison.
Oh.
Vous me le paierez. Vous me le paierez tous deux.
Well, they have made friends already, haven't they?
Make no mistake, the Comte will not forget what happened. You've made an enemy here today.
Still want him in charge of your business while you're gone? Well, that was a lot packed in one episode, wasn't it? Well, I guess for a season premiere, you want it a lot. Where do I even begin? Why are we seeing her back in England now at the beginning? Because that upsets me so much. I'd rather see them go through and then find out she went back than going, why did she go back the whole time? Okay, so that whole sequence with Claire telling Frank what happened and Frank going, I understand, I don't understand, and her, I can see her go, why she wanted to like really drive it home. Because if he kept saying, no, it's fine, and she took it at face value and then found out later, no, it wasn't fine. I totally see what she was doing. And I also think Claire feels a little bit guilty for even considering going back with Frank with all the baggage that entails a Randall. Even though Frank doesn't have control over a majority of that, she still got that baggage. So that whole sequence was fascinating, and the way the dialogue was layered. And that's why I was laughing, not because of what exactly they're saying. It was how they were saying, and how that was constructed was fantastic in its horribleness. So why? And the fact that he said, can't even think about Jamie. I would want to know, why couldn't they just go, is Lollybrock still there? Let's go to Lollybrock. Somebody, hopefully somewhere there, has information on what happened to the Laird of Lollybrock. What happened to Jenny? What happened to Ian? What happened to Jeannie Jr.? That would have been there, of all places, that they couldn't just driven there, found out. She could have said, thank you, and then moved on. So now we're in France, and we have a new antagonist. I'm not going to say villain. We don't know what he is yet. He's just an antagonist, I think. We don't know what he's going to stop them from trying to achieve, but they've introduced it as such. Monsieur Saint-Germain. So things will go awry, obviously. How exactly they go awry, I don't know. Somehow they end up back in Scotland just prior to Culloden, because Claire does not yet know what has happened to Jamie. And now she's back in our times in a whole other country. Don't like that they're apart. I'm so glad that I didn't have to wait until to see the next ones, and I can just watch the next episode and get my curiosity satisfied. So much story, so little time, but I'm glad that you are here with me for this adventure and that you have hit subscribe so you can continue with me. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet, now's a good time. So please also take 5 seconds for yourself to just breathe, enjoy the hopefully good weather, have a sip of water, have some tea, be kind to yourself, read an excellent little fantasy serial called Seasons of August that's out June 30th, and then come back and see me. So thanks again, and until next time.